wondering now whether that could actually contain asbestos. So oh, no turning back now. If Helen was here now, she'd be certainly giving me some looks, I know that. Well, it looks okay from this side. I just didn't show you the other side. It looks like a set of beavers have been at it. The old unit is probably wanted to go that way by, I should say, about 15 mil. So I think I'll just tickle these edges and then just see if I can actually get it clamped into place, I think. Apart from that, well, it's not bad, is it? Let's hope I can make it watertight. Hey. Right, I've just lowered these struts here. I'm trying to get everything back. It's more important that I get the back edge sealed so I can get some bonding sealant around here than what this actually looks like. So yeah, a bit awkward. Right, I've got that into place. It's sitting back further enough, so I'm happy with that. I think the only thing what's actually come to mind now is how am I going to actually fix and secure the door in. I suppose I have got these little strengthening pieces down at the bottom where something could be made. So like I said, we've got this rough edge here with the material a little bit up top. So I think, well, I don't think anything at the minute because I can't think of an idea to actually get around this. From the outside it's looking nice, and certainly from an opening point of view it's looking nice again. So things are going well. If I could just secure this somehow for now, I can probably start sealing up the outside and get these panels in place. I've just got to think how I'm going to just fix it for the time being. I don't know. Right, just a couple of wedges in there. That will allow me to tilt the cab back over and maybe seal around the outside and maybe get some fixings around the outside. I really don't know yet, I'll be honest with you. I'm making this bit up totally, yeah, totally making this up. But it looks well, it does look well. And I'm happy with it so far. I'm really happy with it. So keep your fingers crossed. So I've got the dome frame wedged in place now with a couple of wooden wedges. I've also clamped these edges here to keep things nice and tight. I have run round with a bead of PU bond just across the top here and down at the bottom. So I'm really stuck now. I could do with the PU bond going off and then I could take the clamps off then, maybe tomorrow, and then concentrate on putting these panels in. But I mean, the panels are literally PU bond, squashing and silicone around them, PU bond them around them. So that's relatively easy. Getting on the inside, obviously I'm going to have to devise some fixings to do this, to fix the door and frame from the inside, but at the moment I just can't do any more. So what I'm going to do now is start marking up those, putting my centre marks on there and just getting this ready. I'm not going to do this till probably tomorrow, but oh, actually it's a nice day. I may work a little bit later and start on this, who knows. So we're looking at putting a UPVC style door going straight through into the living area. Now there's several reasons why I've chosen a UPVC rather than a conventional metal door, security door like I've done on the cab. The trouble is with anything metal, especially on our habitation door, because this frame here is metal, it picks up the cold from the outside and then transfers cold to the inside. So what we actually get on the inside of the unit, on the living space, is condensation forming, especially in winter time. So that's the main purpose why I've kept away from using a steel door, because anything steel on the outside, what goes through to the inside, even like these, such as these bolts here, these cappings, because this is a 50mm composite panel, this will take cold from the outside and transfer it to the inside, so you get condensation on each one of these. On the inside you get condensation, so you've got to insulate from that. With a door and a door frame, it's very hard to do that. So that's why I've gone with the UPVC style door. So let's take a look at that. So this is a window frame, UPVC, but we're going to use it as the door. So this is actually the inside of the living space. So this will actually open inwards back towards the worktop. So that's a scroll space there. It is grey in colour, so it matches the outside, but also it's going to match the inside as well, hopefully. I haven't asked for an handle on this. This has just got the square turny key, and I will be making a composite panel for this. So that's the UPVC style, and of course UPVC is very secure. In fact, if I were to break into my camper, I wouldn't come this way anyway. So security for me at this stage isn't too much of a problem. Like I said, there are other ways to get in the camper if you were really going to get in there. So slimline frame as well. So this is the frame section I've got, and as you can see with the UPVC you've got different compartments in there, and each compartment will reduce the cold air coming in and reduce any cold spots on the on the inside. So that's how we've got the frame there. So this is the inside of the living space. What I am going to do is take off these three lugs here. I'm going to plane those off and leave the outer one on, so that when I push it in from the outside, the frame will actually push against the outside of the wall, you know, of the living quarters. So we should protrude. Let's just check this. The wall's 50mm thick, so we're going to go in about 16mm. So there should be 16mm protruding on the inside. That's what you're going to see, and it's going to be tight up to the kitchen wall if it were that way. The 16mm then is going to allow for some decorative panelling on the inside. Right, cool. So all four sides all planed off. You can see now I've created this little bit of a step on the outer side. So when I push this into the wall, I can put certainly a bead of sealant around here, and that will push in nicely. So right, because it's actually getting late in the day and I'm on the first day and I've already done part of the first door, what I may do is look at maybe making the composite panel for this, or getting something ready for it. Now I could always try to use the square what I'm cutting out to fit this door in. I could probably maybe try to use that back in there, but I don't think it's going to fit. I'm going to want it to fit. I may have to cut it down and things like that. So I haven't really got any ideas of this composite panel. Obviously it needs to be insulated. Just while I think on, I'm going to put a link to this company down in the description. The company I use is at Stairfoot in Barnsley, and they make UPVC windows and doors for a lot of the trade. So when you go to these branded firms, the windows actually come from these guys. So I paid roughly for this window. Alright, it hasn't got glass in, it hasn't got handles on there, but I paid about £124, I think it were. So 124 quid for a window is a bargain. So check out, they're in the description, and they've got this made extra quick for me, and like it is in grey. What can I say? Thanks very much, guys. I'm just about ready to cut through now. I've double checked my measurements. I'm happy with those. I've also gone drilled an hole from the inside out this way, and that's at side of the worktop. So so everything, the size of the door perfectly matches up with what I'd measured it originally, so I'm happy with this. So I'm just about to start cutting, so I'm going to cut this out with the trim saw, so a little bit like a circular saw. Don't use jigsaws and anything like this. What you find out with a jigsaw, the blade can twist and bend. I'll cut right to the corners, and then I'll probably just finish off the corners on the inside with the multi-tool. But yeah, scary times, eh? Right, okay, I've cut through. Now I haven't gone right the way through to the inside. To keep the dust down, I've just managed to score, and you can just see there. In fact, the blade is just starting to come through there. Probably very hard to see on the camera, but you can see a definite line there. So to keep the dust down on this side, I'll just run over this now with a multi-tool and just finish it off really. Oh dear, my pulse is up. This is really the point of no return. Oh, that's the all through. As you can see, I finished off the last bit with a multi-tool, just to try to keep the dust down. And while it's all in one place, I'm just going to quickly grab the vacuum and just vac the few bits up. If I cut all the way through, I can guarantee this place will be covered in small insulation particles and fiberglass particles. So right, see whether the door fits, shall we? That's really nice. Looks good. A job well done. I think it's time to put the kettle on, actually. Let's put the kettle on. So this is the panel, the composite panel, what I put in yesterday. I have glued it in, even though with the temperature being pretty cool, I don't think it's quite solid yet. So I will actually go around, this is the outside, so I will actually go around this again with sealant to doubly make sure. I am going to go around the inside as well for that little bit extra. But I'm looking now at insulating this. So I could go down to the local DIY store and get some insulation. But what I've decided to do instead is I'm going to cut this down to the panel size, and then I'm going to make it hard for myself, but I am going to cut this down this way in size. So I am going to reduce the thickness of this and then glue this in there. Now the reason why I'm doing that is because on the inside of in the cabin, thinking about the wall is going to be I'm thinking about doing it in shiplap, but an herringbone style. So I want the herringbone to actually continue through this doorway here. So all you're going to see is you're going to see timber here, timber on the frame here, and then just this little bit of a grey frame in between. So I want the timber to be actually set flush with this. So I don't really need a lot of insulation in the sense of thickness. I just want maybe about 20mm in there, so that when I glue the timber actually into here, I've got something to glue it back onto. So that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, so I'm going to cut this down, glue that in there, and then I can get this fitted in the frame, and I can get the frame fitted in the opening. I've got that insulated panel in there now gluing. I've just put these temporary brackets on just to actually hold it in place, because obviously I've got an hole in the truck now which I want sealing up tonight. So I'm just going to clean this up now. I'm going to bed that onto some sealant, push it in, and then from the inside I'm going to secure it with some chocolate blocks. Secure it with chocolate blocks so I can attach the door, close the door, and actually lock it up tonight. It just keeps it all nice and rigid until the adhesive goes off, and then obviously I'll eventually remove the chocolate blocks, seal around it again, and yeah, and then it'll be ready for the woodwork to go on then. The the other access panel, the sealant is still slightly soft, and it hasn't cured just yet. And the problem is, I don't want to really mess around with that, because as you can see at the angle of the cab, if the door, which is quite heavy, falls out, it's going to go straight through the windscreen. So rather than risk disturbing that and letting it fall through the windscreen, which I don't want to do, yeah, you understand, yeah. So I'm concentrating on the truck now, and like I said, I'm going to seal that in now. I've just been down to Screw Fix for some more sealant, so I'm going to seal that in and chocolate block it and work on that. Right, apologies on two accounts. I've just been trying to get this squared up a little bit, so I haven't had the camera on probably like I should have. I've got the chocolate blocks in place, just got some wedges in here just to try to just square it up and get it to fit that little bit better. But the main apology is, all morning I've been telling you guys this is the outside. I've probably got myself confused as well. I thought this was the outside, that was the inside, and it's not. It's the other way around. So apologies for that. So like I was saying, timber panelling on here. The timber panelling will actually continue into this. There's still enough depth there for the panelling. On the outside, I'm going to have to try to get the beads back in this, which shouldn't be a problem. And I may just have to spray this up anyway. I've got some spraying to do on the panels going for the windows, so I'm just going to have to mask this up and spray this panel as well. So I guess with all the excitement, I've got a little bit confused. Good morning and welcome to day 3. We're just about there, 90% there anyway, with the doors and everything. So one job left to do, and I couldn't do yesterday because the sealant hadn't cured, is to put the replacement glass panels in either side of the cab. These are going to be sealed in and then riveted, and I can also rivet the door as well, so it all ties in with making the door secure. Like I said, I couldn't do it yesterday. The sealant hadn't cured, and because the cab is leaning back on itself, I didn't want the door to slip and go straight through the windscreen. So I decided to leave that yesterday and to carry on with the habitation door to the pod. But hey, oh, it's a lovely day, and you guys are going to be probably barbecuing this afternoon while I'm stuck here, but it's all worth it. It's all worth it. So yeah, without further ado, let's crack on. Easter Sunday, and I spent a lot of the day just doing little bits. I really snookered myself today because I had intentions of going down to the local hardware store and buying some timber. I didn't know that they were all going to be shut. Apparently I weren't the only one. 10 o'clock, there were a queue a mile on this morning for the local wicks. So yeah, today has been a little bit of a lost day. I managed to get the panels in this morning. They're all silicon in and or sealed in, should I say, and they're ready for spraying. Again, with the spray, I thought I was going to go down to Alfred's, get a small tin of spray and spray today, and I'm not. So I had intentions now of going back to the home area tomorrow, which I still think I may do, and I may finish things off down there to be fair, but I'm really happy how things have come, you know, how things have turned out, and the crawl fill works fantastic. And I think one of those main concerns were when we're in the living area and we sat up against the door, how it was going to affect our living area. And to be quite honest with you, no problems whatsoever last night. So I think once we get it all panelled and that wall finished, I think it will really look well. And like I said, I don't think you're going to notice it, but yet it's there if you need it. So right, we'll see what tomorrow brings anyway. Well, it's a cool morning today, so I'm back at the pub. This is going to be the last week of lockdown, so I'm trying to get this finished before we start travelling and living off grid, shall we say. So what my intentions are today is to get this wall completely finished. As luck we've had it, when we came back to the pub just after the bank holiday weekend, a guy had dumped some timber to be burnt just outside of the pub here. So in that timber, in that pile of timber, there was some oak, there was some pine, and there were some other bits and bobs. So I'm trying to reclaim as much timber as possible for this wall. It is going to be a little bit of a hiddly-piddly wall anyway. So I'm going for an herringbone pattern, like I mentioned before, and I'm just going to incorporate a little bit of steel in there, a little bit of plastic in there. This mini trunking up at the top, I'm going to pull this off. That's going to partially go behind the timber, and then a small bit of trunking just up there, just to keep that nice and neat. And that's it really, there's not much more to say. I've got the electrics to put in, but yeah, I'm hoping it's going to turn out okay. So we'll come back to that in a second and we'll see what it looks like when it's all done, eh? So yeah, I've got some timber from the wood pile here. We've just been down to a superstore now to buy some stain for the timber what I got, but then we found out that there are some damaged pieces of laminate flooring in the laminate flooring pile, and we just got these cheap. So we've got about 5-6 lengths here for I think £12 we paid for them. So rather than staining some timber up, this will probably going to end up in the bin anyway, so we decided to get this and use this instead. So I'm just going to cut this down now. As you can see, it's got a really nice finish on there, and yeah, we can crack on with the wall then. We've also found in the garage a couple of tile trims as well. This one's badly scratched, but I think it will clean up alright. This one's a steel one, probably left over from a job in the past what somebody's done, and I'm going to try to incorporate these into the design of the wall as well. So it's going to be a mixture of, well, natural timber, laminate flooring, plastic and steel. So see what I can come up with there. It's been an interesting week. I left the fabricators, went back to the home area to do some work there. I spent 2 days on finishing the wall inside, and now I'm back at the fabricators just for another little job. I've sprayed, this is complete now. I sprayed the panels, and as you can see, they're the totally wrong colour. I couldn't get the colour what I wanted, and I guessed at the colour and I got it nowhere near, so I'm gonna have to come back to that. But it's all sealed in now, the door, and it works fine. Likewise on the habitation door, again another attempt at getting the right colour, and I got the wrong colour. So again, I'm gonna have to come back to spraying these at another time. The weather this week has been a little bit windy, so not ideal for spraying, and it's been cold as well, so it's not been good. But on the brighter side of things, we'll take a look in the cab, and we'll take even more so a look in the living area, and I'm sure you'll be impressed with the finishes in there. So as you can see, on the inside things look much neater. To cover up the mess of the finishes up here, I fabricated a bracket. There are some brackets behind here, but also with this bracket it helps to obviously hold the door in place. Down at the bottom, this was the hardest bit, where we had to do this little bit of checker plate, again riveted to the studs, and yet again that is all sandwiching the door in there. I have got brackets on the outside, so the door is well and truly secure. A nice little addition is this parcel tray just here. The fire extinguisher may find somewhere else to live, but at the moment it's fine there. And overall, I'm happy with it, especially this side of it. So to get through then, we open up the door. Oh, one point, you can just see my measurements were just very slightly out just here, where the door is very slightly just brushing on top of the cubby box. That really reveals the UPVC door. So one key in there, a quick turn he says. Oh, let me change hands. There you go. I have to swap hands of them for a minute. So yeah, quick key in there, and then this opens to the inside. So let's crawl through. And that is relatively easy to get through. So as you can see from here, there's a little void. I did actually make a little bit of a platform for this, but after being through a couple of times, we don't need it. So you can actually step here and kneel straight onto the cubby box, and you are straight through there. I'm sure you'll agree, the inside has turned out really, really nice. And this was one of the reasons why we never actually finished this wall, were because of this doorway. And as you can see, it's a doorway that's blended in lovely. The 16mm back set on this frame has allowed for the timber to butt up nicely. The work, there's 2 days worth of work here in this wall, to be quite honest with you. We've got, you know, we've got the black strips, we've got the white strips, we've got the polished steel strips as well. We've got the 240 lighting, and also we've got the 12 volt as well. This is also a USB charger, so I can charge the phone at this side if need be. But yeah, I'm quite sure you can agree it's done a nice job. And you know, it's only a case of moving a couple of cushions and we're into the driver's cab. and it has worked really, really well. And I must say, I'm really chuffed to bits with it. The old purpose, I mean, while we've got the dogs, chances are when we park anywhere, we're going to put the steps out, because obviously the dogs need to come in and out. But when we haven't got the dogs, or if you know, I park up somewhere, I'm on my own or something, whatever, if we're in here on a night and we can hear something outside, maybe someone tampering with the bike on the back, obviously this route, we can go out here, straight into the cab, we can go up onto the roof, and then we can check out what's happening from a much higher, safer level. So listen, I hope you've enjoyed it again. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done already, and please share. I'm quite sure there's many, you know, people out there with camper vans are looking for ideas. Instead of the lightweight plywood situation, you know, that there's ideas out there, and I'm quite sure some of you guys out there would like a wall like this yourself maybe. So please share, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you again on the next one. You know, it's times it's been very scary. You know, cutting through into the cab is just something what you don't really want to be doing, but yeah, we got there in the end. So I'm really happy with things, how it's happened, and yeah, it's just amazing what you can achieve, you know, if you put your mind to it and stick at it.